So we know domain 1 is about our students, our knowledge of the students, our knowledge of instructional goals, our knowledge of the content and pedagogy, demonstrating a knowledge of resources and how to utilize them in order to plan. It's about planning and preparing for all students. So planning the instruction, but also planning how we're going to measure. Let me get my little handy dandy writing tool out. How we're going to measure the instructional goals. We use the content, which is the TEXES. We apply our knowledge of pedagogy, and we create and select instructional goals so that the students can demonstrate knowledge, right? Demonstrating the knowledge that they've mastered it. But in order for us to know if they mastered it or not, it's not enough for us to design coherent instruction. We have to also pair that with assessments, right? How are we going to collect the data? Oh, sorry. One moment. I have a student that is trying to come in right now. I will send you the Zoom link right now, Miss Ramos. No, not at all. I'm going to send it right now, and you'll receive it in just 2 moments. Yes, ma'am. No worries. Make sure your answer choice addresses or attends to the keywords and phrases you said were important and the goal. So let's take a look. We're going to read questions mindfully because remember, this is a critical reading exam above all and everything. It's meant to test your knowledge, but it's also meant to be tricky, unnecessarily, in sort of a mean way. So with that in mind, we're going to read mindfully, looking like you are a detective analyzing what details are here for the best answer, because they give you more than one, on many occasions, correct answer. Where they're all correct, one is more correct based on the specifics. Remember when we were just discussing right now about the different domains, the specifics, there's keywords for each domain. If they're talking about students and they give you specifics, details about the student, it's important. They give you specific details about the content or the goal objectives, that's important. If they give you particular details about student needs and or preferences, that's important. So let's take a look at some of these. We have, if a teacher is required to assign a letter grade to student artwork, the most responsible way to arrive at that grade is to do which of the following? So we read the question mindfully. What is the goal for the teacher in this scenario, this art teacher?
To assign a letter grade.
Thank you. That is the goal. The goal is to assign a letter grade to art, right? And we need to find the most responsible way. So when they say most responsible, most appropriate, it's possibly because they've given you more than one appropriate and a responsible. We're looking for a way to responsibly assign letter grades. That's the goal here. And this is in art. So it's a student of art. That's important. Let's take a look at the answer choices. Another unwritten rule is do not ever, let me repeat, do not ever automatically eliminate an answer choice upon first reading it. Never. They on purpose try to write answer choices that your mind might automatically discredit, and it's actually the right answer. It happens so much often when I'm working with students and they choose automatically to eliminate the one that is correct. And so we want to give all of them their equal due process and eliminate them individually, betting ourselves $5 and for a reason, because they don't match up with our keywords and phrases, because they are not best practices, or they don't achieve the goal for the teacher that is stated in the scenario. So take those things into consideration when you are eliminating an answer choice. So we're looking for, the goal is responsibly give a letter grade to art. So intuitively sort students' artwork into various piles by level of achievement, then assign a letter grade to the artwork in each pile. Organize the artwork on tables from most to least successful, and then decide where to place the line between each letter grade. Assign a total number of possible points, then deduct points for any unsatisfactory aspects in the artwork. Use a predetermined rubric with criteria for each letter grade, then decide which sets of criteria best fits each individual artwork. So we're looking for most responsible way to assess, right? Assigning a letter grade is assessing a student's work, right? So which is the most responsible way to do so for students? Which one of these can we eliminate immediately? It's not it.
Two.
One.
Two.
One.
One.
Right. What does intuitively mean?
Mm.
Intuitively means I just feel like this one is an A. Like I just feel like this one is good and I just feel like this one is bad. It's like something you feel intuitively. You will not intuitively sort with amongst your feelings and then grade them based on I like this, I don't like this. Again, organizing the artwork from most to least successful and then deciding where to place the line between each letter grade is not something we would do. And then again, who is saying or identifying, explaining what it means to be most or least successful? What are the expectations? What particular objectives or standards do I need to hit as an artist in this class in order to get here? So that 2 is wrong. We're left with 3 and 4. One of them is most responsible. Which one of these does a better job?
Four. Four.
Four. Four.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the majority, and you guys are right. 4 is better. You could do 3, right? Say, oh, you didn't put a title, -10. It's messy, -10, but that's not specific. That type of assessment is not good for you as a teacher, and it's not good for your students because it does not set expectations. A predetermined, and this is one of those carefully like predetermined rubric. That means I decided it before they had the assignment. I went over it with them. They know what to expect and have created products with that in mind. A very clear image outlined on the different criteria and then a description of how you could master this, how to be one of the most successful. If there is no rubric, an art class will not know how to make a successful piece. There has to be a description, a predetermined rubric with set criteria for each of the letter grade. What is an A piece of artwork going to do for this assignment? And it has to give out. It used, multiple colors. The lines were, I don't know, clear, perspective. There's a set list of criteria in order to achieve mastery. The students have access to it so that they're able to achieve mastery because they know what it looks like. They know what it is. It's been defined for them. A good art teacher would have shown them a model of something that was masterful, right? Something that was a good example of what the end product should be. So for this one, the most responsible, and again, you could do number 3, But a number 3 is likely to get a parent in your classroom and say, why did my son get a 70 on his artwork? I think it's beautiful. Can you show me where those 30 points went? And this one here is going to be very easy to defend yourself and say, well, he had 10 points off because you see here, I said they had to use, multiple colors. It couldn't be monochromatic. So it's 10 points off for that. Had to use that, like various colors. So having that specificity so that the students know what is expected of them and how they can achieve mastery. And so that, you can sort of cover your bases when the parents ask, why did my son receive this particular grade? There's a very specific rubric that we went over, and this is the criteria for mastery. Easy peasy. So excellent job on that one. And these are actually questions that were created by Pearson. So these are Pearson type questions because Pearson created them themselves. So
Can you scroll back down real quick? I was trying to copy it all the way. I was trying to copy what you wrote at the top.
oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put this for you in your Google Drive for pedagogy.
Okay. I'm on the last one.
Miss
Sure.
Sauceda, I have a question.
Yes, absolutely.
As I mentioned last Saturday, I took the PPR, but the practice one on certified teacher.
Yes.
Okay, I took the practice one, and there's a lot of questions of the first grade and second grades. Is the is the certified teacher exam similar to the Pearson one, the
No.
practice one?
No, it is not. No, the Pearson practice exam is going to be your best, most comparable to the actual exam. Certified teachers just going off of what they know from our standards and what they've seen from the release tests.
Uh-huh.
There's only one that we have, and then with the addition of that practice test, and I'm sure somebody from certified teacher has taken the practice test to see what they're testing you on. So they do try to make it. I think maybe they've given you more of those. I have heard that on the exam they are giving more elementary questions.
Right.
And so for people who, and there's a lot of content areas that are only secondary, they don't have any early child at all in their content area, and they don't plan for it, and they don't study to plan for it. And so for those students, those questions that are particular to early child are challenging because we plan for them in a specific way. We plan certain instructional activities, and we do instructional practices, instructional strategies that we utilize with early child to help them, because we know their brains are, not as fully formed as our middle age group and our later age at the high school level. So there will be elementary, and there will be secondary, and the elementary, teachers sometimes have difficulty with those secondary questions, but typically it's more common sense secondary, and for elementary, you have to know the particulars.
Oh, okay. So then I kind of disregard certified teacher then, and I base it on more on Pearson.
Well, take the Pearson practice test, and if they asked you to complete certified teacher, certainly you still have to, but for you and for me, to open the exam, your performance on the Pearson to me is more valuable. It's a more clear picture of where you are in your preparation.
Okay, that makes more sense. I'll do that then, because like I said, I did take the practice one, and it is different. There's differences on both of them.
Right, absolutely. And one is just a third-party vendor, just somebody who is like, made a program to help students, but they don't have firsthand knowledge. And Pearson is so crazy about keeping that under wraps.
Okay, I'll stick to Pearson then. Thank you.
Yes.
So the actual exam is based on both elementary and secondary questions. For instance, it doesn't have just what you're going to be teaching.
That's correct. And so it also, the PPR exam, everybody, and we'll look at it. I'm just going to show you right now. I think it's this one. Here it is. So you'll look at, this is how everybody gets certified. So here's English language arts and reading. If you are an English language arts and reading person, in order to be certified, you have to know and understand the standards that go with your particular content area, and then the PPR. And it's not 4 through 8. It's EC 12 all the way. Here. Everybody has to know your content area standards and your profession. So for our exam, what that means for us is that they'll ask questions about a math teacher. They say, Miss Sauceda's 7th grade math class is having difficulty discussing content specific math skills or math concepts, in small groups. Which of the following? And so it's not about math, because you might be taking the PPR and you're an art teacher, or you might be taking the PPR and you're a PE teacher. This PPR exam is not about the content. When they ask you about a content specific, it's not about the content. It's about how you are instructing, or how you are assessing, or how you are implementing the instruction for the particular students, whether they're EC through 6. If they tell you it's a 2nd grade, we know that 2nd graders, they don't think abstractly yet. Their brains are still on a concrete level. So with our early child, hold on, I'm gonna mute some of y'all. With our early child, we are we are planning instruction that is for concrete thinkers, concrete learners, where they have to see it, they have to do it, they have to feel it, put their hands in the dirt, observe, document, and planning more interactive and hands-on and like experimental, seeing it in the flesh, real life, empirical data for them. Because we know that the human brain, as it grows and as it learns more, as it experiences more, it gets more neurological pathways. Those neurological pathways are internalized learning, internalized knowledge that they later, once their brain is more formed, have more experiences, more knowledge, more neurological pathways, they're able to abstract. Abstracting is where you can think about something you don't know about, you don't think about, and understand it, how it would work based on your prior knowledge and what you know about other things, and synthesizing that information in your brain to understand a concept you haven't seen it yet, haven't lived through. That abstraction doesn't take place until later in the child's development. And as a result, our instruction in early child has to be concrete learning, hands-on, empirical, observable, doable activities. Okay. So which of the following questions, if included in a high school student self-assessment, would best reveal student growth after the completion of an art assignment? So let's go back to our things. We're going to read the question mindfully, because we know we're looking for specifics. What is the goal for the teacher in the scenario? What keywords or phrases are red flags, meaning they should perk up our ears and we know that they mean something, and that they should alert us to, change our instruction, monitor, do something to address that keyword or phrase. Make sure our answer choice addresses that. So let's take a look. So which of the following questions, if included in a high school student self-assessment, would best reveal student growth after the completion of an art assignment? And this one's a good one because it has some of those keywords and phrases I was talking about. So tell me what keywords and phrases you guys think we should pay attention to.
High school student self-assessment.
High school student, and it's a self-assessment, right? And what's the goal?
Student growth.
Yeah, we want to reveal student growth is our goal. That's the goal, to reveal student growth. When?
At the completion of the art assignment.
After the completion of an art assignment. So remember, sometimes they'll say like, before Miss Sauceda begins her unit on blah, blah, blah. And so we do different things before, different things during, different things after. If they give you a time marker before, during, after, first, second, third, next, last, previous, pay attention to those specifics. It's a critical reading exam. Above all. So our goal is which of the questions, if included in a student's high school self-assessment, would show us growth. We want to see growth, would tell us about growth. That's the goal. We want to know about the growth. Let's take a look. Remember, we give each of the answer choices due process, and then we eliminate them, betting ourselves $5. They're super not the answer based on they don't go with the goal, not with our keywords and phrases, or etc. Did you enjoy the assignment? Why or why not? How long did the assignment take to complete? Was the time allowed reasonable? What is the subject matter of the work you created for the assignment? Where did you get this idea? What new strategy or technique did you try in the assignment? How was this attempt successful or unsuccessful? Remember, our
So-
goal is growth. What can we?
I would say number
we eliminate
four.
number one?
4 is the only one that can tell you, because it's basically straightened afterwards in the assignment. How was the attempt successful?
Right. And what's this new strategy business? Oops. I
Yep.
didn't mean to
I
do
mean, you
that.
can only get something new afterwards after you've experienced what you need. I'm doing a study session. What you need?
How do I make it go back? Stop it. Do it.
Hit your, yeah,
Yeah, there we go. So
my-
new strategy, that tells us
You don't need to eat that.
the
your daddy
only
can
one
do
that
it.
would get the students to talk
No,
about if they were
you don't
growing.
need to. You had that breakfast.
To try a new strategy or technique, even if they were unsuccessful, is still growth because it's a new strategy that they tried. Not having tried it before is growth, and being able to explain that they're unsuccessful or successful means that they understand the new technique or strategy. They have it, they just haven't mastered the skill of doing it. So 4 is the only one that addresses the student after their growth, revealing their growth, any information about their growth. And it's the only one that self-assesses, because look at this second part. How was this attempt successful or unsuccessful? It's the only one that makes them self-assess. They're assessing whether they did good or not. The other ones, the number 1 is just not going to tell you anything about growth. Whether they enjoyed it or not doesn't tell us if they grew in their skills. And 4 does that for you. Let's take a look at this one. A mathematics teacher assigns students in a 6th grade class to keep a mathematics diary. Every day, the students are asked to record when and how they use mathematics in their daily lives. At the end of each week, the students each write a short report on their use of mathematics, and the teacher reviews their diaries. Which of the following is the teacher demonstrating with this activity? So let's take a look at the words. Remember, reading the question mindfully, the scenario and question mindfully, identifying keywords and phrases. What is the goal for the teacher?
record mathematics daily.
The goal on the teacher.
Would it be to record the mathematics in their daily lives?
Yeah, that's what she has them do. But what's her goal for doing this? Have them, what are they doing? She wants them to write what?
Or report, so that they can demonstrate the activity.
A diary. Mathematics diary.
She wants them to record. Her goal is to make them think about
Take ownership
when
of their own learning.
and how they use mathematics in their daily lives. Every day she has them think about when and how they use math. every day. And then at the end of the week, the student each writes a report. So every day they record, they make note of it on a daily basis. How did I use math today? How did my family use math today? How did my grandma use math yesterday? And recording it. And then in summation, at the end of the week, they write a short report on their use, the student's use of mathematics. And then she reviews it. She looks at their diaries at the end of the week. And we're trying to, question is asking us, what the question is asking us, what is the teacher demonstrating with this activity? What is she showing us by her use of this activity? And her goal is to get them to think about, and I'm just guessing based on the words, her goal is every day she wants them to think about how math is connected to their daily lives. And then and the end of the week, she wants them to, in summation, think about it. Write up a short report. What did you learn about how you use math this week? And she reviews it. Why is she doing this is the question. What is she demonstrating by utilizing this activity with her 6th grade, another keyword and phrase, 6th grade mathematics class? Let's take a look at our answer choices. And we're going to give each of them due process and not going to eliminate any of them until, you know, we can bet ourselves $5 they are not the right answer. So we have an understanding of a variety of questioning strategies to encourage mathematical discourse and to help students analyze, evaluate, and communicate their mathematical thinking. An understanding of the use of inductive reasoning to make conjectures and deductive methods to evaluate the validity of conjectures. An understanding of the purpose, characteristics, and use of summative assessments. An understanding of how technological tools and manipulatives can be used appropriately to assist students in developing, comprehending, and applying mathematical concepts. So what can we eliminate, right? Bet ourselves $5. It's not the right answer.
Number 3.
For sure. There is no mention and no description of any sort of summative assessment, right? Summative assessments are very fancy. They're very formal. They're like the STAR exam, an end of semester exam. So we don't have any summative assessment here. And we can bet ourselves pretty confidently with $5 that number 3 is not the right answer. What else could we eliminate?
I would say 1, questioning. She didn't. Well, no, wait. Let me read it again.
I'd say 2.
Right. Did we talk about conjectures or deductive methods? Was there
No.
any discussion about conjunctures or inductive reasoning? She's not talking
No.
about inductive reasoning. She's talking about stating how you use math in your daily lives, is stating it. So I would say 2 for sure, $5, not the right answer. We're left with 1 and we're left with 4. So remember, she's having the students every day. She asks them, write down when and how you use math.
I would say number 1. 4 would be out because it's saying technology, and we're not talking about technological tools at the moment.
Are they using technological tools? And did they say they were using
No.
technology? Not at all. No, they aren't. And so maybe this was a math, if it said mathematics, technological online, but it doesn't. So 4 is not the right answer. And 1 is because this discourse, encourage mathematical discourse. What does the word discourse mean? Remember, this is a reading exam above all. Everything matters. Discourse is talking about it and thinking about it, writing about it. It's your speaking or writing about something, discourse. So having them think, write about how they use math, when they use math on a daily basis, helps them think and dialogue within themselves about mathematical concepts, helps them evaluate and analyze and communicate their ideas, their mathematical thinking, because they're trying to explain I'll give you an example of if my daughters were part of this class, they're not in 6th grade, they're in 1st and 2nd. And so it wouldn't be totally inappropriate for their I mean, not totally, but a little bit. The frequency and then the summation at the end of the week might be a bit much for 1st or 2nd graders, given that their writing levels are not on par. But I know it's important for students to connect mathematical knowledge with everyday life. So when our family dog died and we were left with feeding her puppies 5 days after they were born, we had to keep a log of the 3 different puppies and the number of ounces that they ate at each feeding. And one of them, who was sort of like the doctor said he would pass, wasn't drinking as many ounces. And so we were having to do the math and make sure that we could give him extra feedings to get the ounces he needed. And my 1st and 2nd grader were helping me keep these logs, helping me do the math. Oh, Snow only ate 2 ounces this feeding. That means next feeding he needs to have 4 because Tigers had this many ounces. And I told him, we're doing math right now. Like, what you're only doing right now is math. And we did it every day for all of the weeks that we bottle fed them, did the math to make sure that everybody was ingesting the correct amount of ounces. Now, if this math teacher were doing this, the students could utilize that and say, oh, I was feeding the puppies with my mom and I helped to figure out which one was this and that, and to understand and evaluate and communicate how math is sort of utilized in everyday life. And so excellent activity. And we want them, again, discourse. Anytime you see the word discourse, speaking or writing or thinking about in a way that you're engaging about a topic, discourse. We want them to be dialoguing and to have discourse about the content specific concepts, whether they be math, whether they be science, whether they be art. We want them to be able to articulate content specific vocabulary and concepts in a way that is proficient. So getting them to practice that as much as possible in their writing and in their speech is always going to be best practice, and it's always going to be the best answer. Okay, let's take a look at this one. This one is, we're getting out of the, what was this? An art or math? But this was math. Let's look, we're looking at PE here. Which of the following methods best demonstrates effective teaching behavior using nonverbal communication during physical education class? So mindfully reading it. What is the goal of the teacher in the classroom? What keywords and phrases are there for us to analyze answers better? And making sure our answer choice supports our keywords and phrases. So what do we see there, guys? What is keywords and phrase? What do we need to pay special attention to? Best demonstrates, anytime they give you best or most appropriate, I always have my little alarm bells off, meaning that they could have given you more than one quasi appropriate or that demonstrates it, but not best demonstrates. Effective teaching behavior. We're looking for teaching behavior with nonverbal communication, right?
Right.
Effective teaching behavior. Put it in your own words whenever possible. What is nonverbal communication?
Not talking, no.
Not
Not
talking,
saying
right?
nothing.
In layman's terms, we're looking for the best way for teaching behavior in PE, not talking, to convey a message in a PE class effectively, not talking, right?
Yeah.
So let's take a look at our answer choices. We have pointing the next station to direct students to a new activity, pointing to the next station, telling the class that they are spending too much time changing their clothes for gym, looking students in the eye while giving them individual feedback on a skill they are performing, asking students to respond to feedback from their peers during an activity, which best demonstrates effective teaching behavior using nonverbal communication. Can you eliminate any of
The
these
next
including
statement.
yourself? Which ones can you eliminate and why?
Your 2 is telling. You can't tell them if they're nonverbal, if there's no talking.
Thank you.
Right,
2
true,
is
yep.
verbal.
You can eliminate number 4.
4 is
It-
verbal,
Same
Same
right?
thing is verbal.
Feedback is verbal unless it's written, and it's asking, so we already know they're talking. And this is again,
and 3.
and 3, again, giving feedback on a skill. These are all talking. So automatically you could bet yourself $5 they're all wrong because they don't address the very important point of being nonverbal. Even if it seems like 3 might be better because looking at the students, if you aren't paying attention to what type of communication it's specifically asked for. Remember, this above all is a critical reading exam. It is in the specifics of the scenario and in the specifics of the question that the devil's in the details, and where one answer becomes so much better than all of the other answers because the other answers are completely wrong given that they're all talking, and we need something that is a non-verbal communication. So well done on not getting tricked from that one. I thought someone was going to get tricked and y'all did well. Let's take a look at this one. A student is most likely to be self-motivated and engaged in physical activities long-term when the student. So, let's take a look. What are we looking for? What are the goals here? What do
Self-motivated
we want the student to be self-motivated. What else do we want?
and engaged.
How long?
Long term.
Long term.
Yes, long-term engagement in physical activities. And their student is most likely to do that to be self-motivated. And remember, they don't just get self-motivated like willy-nilly. We provide ways in which they can help become self-motivated. That's one of our pedagogical, knowledge concepts. There are particular things that we can do to help students, and it's different slightly. For the most part, it's the same: interests, agency. But we have to provide the opportunities for them to become self-motivated within our activities. So let's take a look at these answer choices to see if we can find one that would be part of our best practices that we know help engage students. Participates in school activities several times a week at school. Understands the effects of physical activity versus the effects of non-activity. Knows the rules and understands a wide variety of team sports. Possesses the knowledge and skills and attitude to lead a healthy lifestyle. So which one of these a student is most likely to be self-motivated to engage in long-term physical activities if the following, which of the following needs to happen for our students to be motivated?
They have to possess the knowledge, skill, and attitude to lead a healthy lifestyle.
Yes, that is correct. So that possession, that agency, that knowledge, those skills will allow the student to be self-motivated. Why is answer choice A wrong?
Because it's asking them
Because-
to participate in the physical activity.
Because that's only a couple of times a week. We said long term.
Exactly. This doesn't go far enough. Just having them participate in activities a few times a week. More needs to go into the construction of an ideology, right? What it means to be a healthy person. This doesn't complete. It will not engage them in physical activities, not in the long term. Understanding the effects of physical activity versus non-activity is not enough to motivate them long term. Having skills, knowing that I don't have to go and be a basketball player or play in the NFL to lead a healthy lifestyle. If I like bowling, I can do bowling. I can do tennis. I can take walks. I can go hiking. There are different ways in which we can be active. Them having the knowledge and skills of a variety and ways to lead it is going to encourage them to do so because they have the resources to do it. Let's take a look at this. Which of the following, this is an easy peasy one, no sort of like analytical reading involved, straightforward. Which of the following is a type of summative assessment? A final examination, a homework exercise, an interview, and a question and answer session.
A final exam.
Yes, well, why can you eliminate all the other ones? What kind are the others?
They're not tests.
They are
They're not tests,
assessments.
they're like homework assignments.
The homework assignments are still assessments, though. Assessments are not just the big ones. So
Okay.
these
But
three,
these, you have to summarize everything. And the final
summative
exam is basically,
assessment, exactly what you were saying. It summarizes everything. Summative is in summary after all learning takes place. The final exam, that's what that one is. This over here, these are formative.
Yeah,
A homework
formative
exercise is a formative assessment. Remember, assessments are not just the stereotypical tests with multiple choice or essay. An assessment could just be, I'm having a conversation with a student and I realize they don't understand this particular concept. I am assessing their knowledge right then and there. That's data collection. Assessment is just data collection. Summative assessment is data collection after all learning has taken place. And it's usually fancy, it's formal, it's given in a multiple choice or like an essay, a synthesis essay type situation. Formative, oh, I just put formative I didn't mean to do that. Assessment. The formative assessments, they help form your instruction. They help form your planning and your instruction. They help form and they take place before and during the learning, the unit of learning. I can give a pretest and talk, and not in a formal way, but just say, ask questions. A KWL chart, which is a strategy we use very often. KWL. And this is the chart.
So the formative is gonna be like before the summary, right?
Absolutely. Formative takes place all 6 weeks long. And you give so many different types of formative. It's not just multiple choice questions. You walking around making observations, listening to your students' cooperative learning group, that's a formative assessment. You taking exit tickets at the end of class is a formative assessment. Excuse me. They're turning in homework assignments, a homework exercise, formative assessment. Me conducting an interview of a student over a particular concept or skill is a formative assessment. Me asking poignant questions to whole group discussion during think, pair, shares, like asking them questions and then having them think, pair, share, and listening to what they're saying to each other, formative assessment. So formative assessments are the meat and potatoes of the way that we form or make our plans, right? That we form our plannings. And summative is in summary, after all that we did and instructed and all that this is what you got out of it. And this is where you need to go later next year. So formative is the meat and potatoes of assessments, and assessments are not just exams. They are just a collection of data. And one of those ways is exams. And some of them are formal, like an end of chapter test, multiple choice test, or an essay at the end of something, or a, science report. However, those help us form, they help us create a picture of where our students are at, what are their needs, and what strategies, what activities do I need to incorporate into my learning and instruction in order to support those areas of weakness. So this activity KWL, and I'll just like erase all of it and rewrite it. But the KWL is just an activity that we do, and it's very informal. What do we know? And let's say we're talking about whales and I'm in a science class. I'm saying, what do you know about whales? Students give me different things that they know, and we're talking about it. This is a pre-assessment. I'm just asking them, what do you already know? What do you want to know? What do you wonder about whales? And they can tell me different things that they might wonder about it, and I'll write it on the board. And then we read our article about whales. And then at the end, I will say, okay, guys, what did we learn? What new facts did we learn here? And so this is me checking them before, checking for what they know, and also checking for what they learned. Easy peasy strategy that we utilize all the time and gives us an assessment. It gives us knowledge and data about the students and where they are with that particular subject. So the last three, we could automatically eliminate them because those are formative assessments. We use them to form and drive our instructional planning and implementation. And the final exam is the only one that would be done in summation because it's the last. This isn't going to help us form anything. It's just in summary, this is what learning took place. Okay, guys, I kept you a little bit longer. I am so sorry. On Saturday, we will continue with these questions. We have a few more, and there's still a few more that I have yet to compile from the Pearson exams dealing particularly with pedagogy. Do I have any questions before I let you guys go?
What time on Saturday?
I'm sorry?
What time are you meeting Saturday?
On Saturday, the class is from 11 to 12:30.
11, 12:30, same link?
No, it'll be a different one, and I'll send that one to you, Miss Beasley.
I need it too.
Okay.
I need it too.
Absolutely. Who's saying they needed to?
Brandy.
Okay, Miss Brandy, let me get your last name. Brandy.
Guilford. I actually do need to even talk to you still.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
this is Nastasia Abbott. Can I get the link also?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the link for?
For Saturday
Class.
class?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna need it, please.
Who was that that said that?
Francisco Waldo.
Hey, Stephanie, all the other information that you have, it's in your Google Drive.
That's
and you
correct.
sh-
Yes.
And you share it.
Yes. Let me go in there.
Miss Sauceda, I also need it for Saturday, Miss Hilda Ramos, please.
Yes, ma'am, Miss Sarah Ramos. And did they open your exam for you?
Yes, thank you so much.
Oh, good. I was just making sure.
Yes, thank you for everything. I need to prepare myself and be strong.
Yes, you
So I
can
did
do it.
well.
You can do it. You just need to be
Thank
a
you.
careful reader. Remember, be mindful because the devil is in the details. It's there. They tell you más o
Yes.
menos what they're looking for. So I just put it in the Google chat, the link to the actually I'm also going to put the link to the Saturday class, and you guys can sign up if you like, and it'll send it to you, or you could just wait and I'll send you the thing.
How do I
Are you
get to that Google chat?
Thank you.
Not the
Thank
Google
you very
chat.
much.
It's there in the meeting chat, like the drive is there. You see the drive?
oh, it's in the okay.
Register to the PPR is the same way that register for the content, right? Or no?
I'm sorry, what was it that you asked?
To register for the PPR is the same way that I did for the content?
Absolutely, yes, it's the same.
Okay.
Miss Stephanie,
Yes.
sorry, how do I get to that page that you're in at the moment?
The one with the Saturday class, the Calendly.
Yes, ma'am.
I just put the here. Let me put the overall link here. I'll do this.
Yeah, it's the second link under the first one. The first one is Google Drive. The second one is
Yeah.
the calendar link.
I'm gonna do the full Calendly link. That one is just to the Saturday class. That second link is the Saturday class, and the third link is to all of the different classes that are available throughout the week. And guys, I just had to because they forced me to give particular times to particular content areas. But like, if you are available at a certain time and you need to meet with me, you can sign up for like another content area, but just put in the notes like, Miss Sauceda, I'm doing math or I'm doing PPR, but I needed to meet with you. So I signed up for English, language arts, and reading. And I have no problem with that. Because I know that the scheduling's kind of quirky. But so that second link in the chat is to the Saturday class. The third one is to the collective of all the classes, those, you know, the PPR one that we have every Wednesday and the other. And so you're welcome to sign up for any of those if you need extra support. And
Thank
the
you very
Google Drive
much.
is the first.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I don't think I'm in that chat, miss.
No,
No, I don't think I'm in it either.
it says I sent, you just have to press where it says chat at the bottom of your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, because it's sent to everybody. It says everyone. Just press at the bottom. It says chat. You don't see it at the bottom of the screen?
You'll see like
You
a
might-
little, like,
You might have to scroll up. You might have to scroll up. It might be hidden.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes,
no,
I
not
got
at
it.
all. Not at all. You just press
This is
that
so
chat
confusing.
button.
I just got it.
Right there.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it be
Awesome.
hidden down at the bottom.
We
Miss
have
Sauceda.
Tuesdays. We're
Go
having
ahead.
Tuesdays evenings, also Tuesdays or a Wednesday, because there's one for Tuesday, the 21st at 5.
I put that Tuesday because I have some people with content areas that can't attend during the day, so I just put that one
Oh.
there. And but it's actually
Okay.
only a one person, so it's
So it will be for the Saturday, the 18th and the 25th
that's
at
correct.
11. And then do you have the one for Wednesdays? So
That one's also on there. So if you click on that second link, not second, I'm sorry, the third link there,
okay.
you'll see the one for Wednesdays there, and you can sign up for several, I think, in advance.
Okay. So that will be the language other than English, or which one is that one? The one that has all of them. It has English language arts, math. Which one is the other one for all of them? Which is the other link?
The one with the link for all of them is the third one, and it should have the pedagogy class there. It's like a purple dot.
It's a course subject, pedagogy. Oh yeah, I found it. The pedagogy. So that's for all of them. Okay.
Yes.
So that's Wednesday for the 22nd. It just have Wednesday 22nd on that one. It's 6:30 and 7. Ours is 6:30, right?
Yes, always 6:30, because I don't know why it splits it. I've tried to change it, and short of like deleting that class, I can't change it. It's so ridiculous. So, and because I've had people sign up for other classes, I don't want to delete it and then not have it. So as it is, if people sign up for the 7 o'clock, I usually just reschedule them for 6:30 and just let them know, please sign in whenever you're ready, but use this link because that's where we'll be. It makes a different class, a different meeting room for the two different 30-minute sections, and I'm not sure why. I must have set it up that way in the beginning, but it's not. I'm unable to change it after the fact. So that's kind of
Okay. So for that one, I already signed up, but for the PPR classes for